Good evening, dear educators. On behalf of Kriti Prakashan Private Limited, I, Dr. Farzana Shakil Ali, welcome you all to this learning journey with Urja Pedagogy Enhancement Program, an initiative of Kriti Prakashan, Lucknow. Kriti Prakashan Private Limited is a Lucknow based publishing company which began its operation in the year 2000. Having firm faith in its motto, that is shaping nations through education, the company has spread its wings of knowledge pan India and abroad during its journey of 21 glorious years. Apart from publishing quality content for children, our vision statement also includes updation of teachers and educators by empowering them through capacity building trainings and workshops twice a year. Our initiative Urja Pedagogy Enhancement Program focuses on empowering educators in teaching pedagogies in alignment with New Education Policy 2020, Learning Outcomes by NCERT, and Bloom's Taxonomy. I am glad to announce the onset of our Urja training series for the session 2021-22. In the series, today we have capacity building workshop on pedagogy of teaching mathematics to the students of primary level, which is now known as foundational stage and preparatory stage as per NEP 2020. This online training series will continue till 7th of August and will cover teaching pedagogies of all subjects, including early childhood care and education as well. And I strongly believe in one very important aspect that if teachers want their students to learn, then everyone in the school must continue to learn because learning is a lifelong process and it must never stop. Today, we have with us our resource person for the day, Mr. Kamal, Principal SDSN Public School, Lucknow. Mr. Kamal has a rich experience of teaching mathematics all through his career before taking up the principalship. He's in this education field since 1986 and has varied experiences. Apart from teaching mathematics, he had been in charge of the quiz society as well. Mr. Avani Kamal is a CBSC resource person for Center of Excellence Prayagraj and Noida. He has always been at the vanguard of the social and value awakening movement that has exercised a tremendous impact on the minds of conscious individuals. We welcome you on board, Mr. Avni Kamal, and we look forward to some enriching experiences shared by you in this upcoming training session. Over to you, Mr. Avni Kamal.
Good evening to all. With thanks to Dr. Farjana Shakil, Director, DJ Nurture. She has given me this opportunity to share my views with you all. I would like to share that how to increase motivation primary school students, what extra steps we have to do, what are the extra activities which we have to do to increase the interest among the student. So let us come back on this. First, I would like to introduce about the new education policy 2020. Most of you are aware of this, but I would like to share few important points of new education policy 2020. Education policy lays particular emphasis on the development of the creative potential of each individual. This is the first point. It is based on the principle that education must develop not only cognitive capacities, both the foundational capacities of literacy and numeracy and higher order cognitive capacities such as critical thinking and problem solving. This is very important. But also social, ethical, and emotional, and cognitive capacities. This is very important. But also social, ethical, and emotional, and cognitive capacities. This is very important. But also social, ethical, and emotional, and cognitive capacities. This is very important. But also social, ethical, and emotional, and cognitive capacities. This is very important. But also social, ethical, capacities, and dispositions. The new education policy must provide to all students, irrespective of their place of residence, a quality education system with particular focus on historically marginalized, disadvantaged, and underrepresented groups. Education is a great leveler and is the best tool for achieving economic and social mobility, inclusion, and equality. Initiatives must be in place to ensure that all students from such group, despite inherent obstacles, are provided various targeted opportunities to enter and excel in the educational system. Among the major reforms, the 10 plus 2 structure in the schooling system has been replaced by a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. I hope all of you know about this. It will include 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi and preschooling. Additionally, instead of exams being held every year, school students will sit for exams only in class 3, 5, and 8. These are the major changes. Some more changes will come to know step by step. Now, we all are mathematicians here. We are teaching mathematics in our school. But before teaching mathematics, do we know what is the full form of mathematics? Can we guess in mathematics what M stands, what A stands, what T stands, what H stands, what E stands, what M stands, and what ATICS stands? Any guess is coming in your mind that what M should be, what A should be, what T should be? So let us come back. Let us see what is the full form of mathematics because we all are mathematicians. We should know that what is the full form of mathematics, then we can express this subject in a proper way in the class. M stand for the mind, that is a good mind we should have. A stand for accuracy, that whatever content we are teaching in the class, that should be accurate. We should not teach the wrong thing in the class. A means accuracy. Mathematician and know for accuracy. T for talent. H for hard work. Mathematicians are always hard worker. E for enthusiasm. Our energy level should be very good when we go in the class to teach mathematics. M for mastery, memory. A for attention. T for task, tolerance. I for interest or interact. C for creativity. And last, S for smile, which appears on mathematician after solving problem. When we solve any problem on the blackboard, we feel satisfied. Ah, now this question we have solved, and children are understanding what we are teaching in the class. So last is very important, that is smile, which appears on mathematician after solving problem. Strategies. See, I am not going to teach any chapter here. We are going to discuss strategies, ways to create interest among the students because you all are very good in teaching mathematics, I know. So I'm not going to teach any content of mathematics. We all are here to discuss how can we increase motivation, how can we create interest among the student, what extra step we should follow. Strategies for increasing motivation in maths. Call attention to a void in the student's knowledge. Revealing to students gap in their understanding capitalizes on their desire to learn more. For instance, you may present a few simple exercises involving familiar situations, followed by exercises involving unfamiliar situations on the same topic. The more dramatically you reveal the gap in understanding, the more effective the motivation. So, this is the first point. Call attention to a void in a student's knowledge. Second, show a sequential achievement. Closely related to the preceding technique is having students appreciate a logical sequence of concept. This differs from the previous method in that it depends on the student's desire to increase, not complete their knowledge. One example of sequential process is how special quadrilaterals lead from one to another from the point of view of their properties. We have we know about the quadrilateral chapter. There are so many special quadrilaterals are there, that is rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium, and so on. So one example of a sequential process is how special quadrilaterals lead from one to another from the point of view of their properties. Discover a pattern. Setting up a contrived situation that leads student to discover a pattern can often be quite motivating. as they take pleasure in finding and then owning an idea. An example could be adding the numbers from 1 to 100. Now, see, rather than adding the numbers in sequence, student add the first and last 1 plus 100, 101. Then the second from the beginning and second last from the second last number from the last, that is 2 plus 99, 101, and so on. Then all they have to do to get the required sum is solve 50 into 101, that is 5050. The exercise will give students an enlightening experience with a truly lasting effect. There are patterns that can be motivating, especially if they are discovered by the student, of course, being guided by the teacher. So when we teach something, we have to correlate with some sequence. कि भाई ये ऐसे होगा, this will be like this will be like this. Otherwise, what impact we want from the student, they will not get it. So we have to discover some pattern. We have to teach something by linkage, that this question linked to this pattern linked to link, like this. We have to create the pattern. Present a challenge. When students are challenged intellectually, they react with enthusiasm. Great care must be taken in selecting the challenge. The problem, if that is the type of challenge, must definitely lead into the lesson and be within reach of the students' abilities. Care should be taken so that the challenge does not detract from the lesson, but in fact leads to it. So this is very important. We have to give some time hot questions, that high order thinking questions to the student, but we have to see that children should take the interest and they should not distract from that particular problem. Indicate the usefulness of topic. Introduce a practical application of genuine interest to the class at the beginning of a lesson. For example, in primary school, geometry, a student could be asked to find the diameter of a plate where all the information he or she is a section of the plate that is smaller than a semicircle. The application chosen should be brief and uncomplicated to motivate the lesson rather than distract from it. Use recreational mathematics. Recreational motivation involves puzzles, games, paradoxes, or the school building or other nearby structure. In addition to being selected for their specific motivational gain, these devices must be brief and simple. An effective execution of this technique will allow students to complete the recreation without much effort. Once again, the fun that these recreational examples generate should be carefully handled so as not to distract from the ensuing lesson. Tell a pertinent story. A story of a historical event. For example, the story of how Carl Friedrich Gauss had the numbers from 1 to 100 with 1 minute when he was a 10-year-old in 1787. Or a country situation can motivate students. Teachers should not rush while telling the story. A hurried presentation minimizes the potential motivation of the strategy. We can discuss about great mathematician Madam Shakuntala Devi, how she count the number. What if we give the big addition she is doing in 1 minute, or we can say in few seconds, big multiplication in few seconds, big division in few seconds, how she is doing this. So we have to tell children about mathematicians, that what invention they have done, where we are using their inventions. Children should visualize this. अच्छा उन्होंने ऐसा किया, they have thought like this, they have thought like this, उसका use यहाँ पे ऐसे हो रहा है. So sometimes we have to tell a pertinent story also. Get students actively involved in justifying mathematical curiosity. One of the more effective techniques for motivating students to ask them to justify one of many pertinent mathematical curiosities, like the fact that the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 9. The original number is also divisible by 9. So divisibility, we are telling in the class which number can be divided by 3, which can be divided by 4, which can be divided by 5, which can be divided by 6, which can be divided by 9. So when the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by the 9, the original number is also divisible by 9. The student should be familiar and comfortable with the mathematical curiosity before you challenge them to defend it. How to find a square of a number which contains 5 at unit? Tell us unit place like 25, 35, 45, 55. Is there any direct method for this? We'll see on certain slide. I have tried to explain you number which contain 5 at the unit place. How can we find a square without multiplying those numbers? So these type of tricks we have to tell the children. All teachers must master three types of knowledge. Number one, content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, knowledge of the student. What is content knowledge? Knowledge of the facts, principles, and methods for the topic, what we are teaching in the class. Pedagogical knowledge, understanding of the learning process and things that facilitate and hinder such process. Knowledge of the student. Teachers must understand each and every student and the best way to impart knowledge to each and everyone, as all students are special. So teachers should know about every student. Okay, what is the standard of the teachers? Where the teachers are, where the students are lying below average, average, above average students. Teachers should be aware about every student. So main three things we should be expert in these three things: content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, knowledge of the students. We should be expert. We should be master in these three things. Then only we will be known a good teacher. Some data for mathematicians. Attitude of student towards mathematics. Number one, students feel all experience dislike और hatred toward mathematics. कितने बच्चे मैथ से dislike है, कितने बच्चे hate करते हैं? 64.89%. Oh my goodness. इतने बच्चे अगर मैथ से hate करेंगे तो हम लोग का क्या होगा फ्यूचर में? Students feels or experience dislike or hatred towards mathematics 64.89%. Dislike toward mathematics began at primary stage 88.67. My goodness. Dislike towards mathematics begin at secondary stage 11.33. Reasons for dislike toward mathematics. What are the reasons? क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? Multiple responses allowed. Number one, teachers are responsible 59.88%. Teachers methodology is responsible 48.34%. Other factors 28.45%. Student wish to do higher education in mathematics 8.48%. Students like to select a career related to mathematics 2.58%. My goodness, if the trend will go like this, in future we are not going to get any good mathematics teacher even. So it is our duty as a mathematics teacher that we do our duty in class with sincerity, with honesty. We have to see that what subject what topic we are going to teach in the class. Proper preparation should be there before entering the class. Student can ask any question. We should be ready to give their answer. We have to create interest among the student. We have to motivate children to love maths. Memorizing value of pi. Now, see, pi ki value, it is very difficult to learn the value of pi. To remember the first 7 digits of pi, I am telling you the easy way. Count the number of letters of in each word of the sentence. How I wish I could calculate pi. If you learn this sentence, you will know the value of pi up to 7 place. How I wish I could calculate pi. In letter, in word how many letters are there? Three. 3 point. I, 1. In wish, there are 4 letters. Then I again 1. In could, there are 5 letters. Calculate, there are 9 letters. Pi 2. So value of pi is 3.141592. But to learning this value, we should learn this sentence. How I wish I could calculate pi. So these are the interesting things which we can discuss in the class, not every day because you have to finish the syllabus, we have to take the test, but once in a week we can fix this chapter like this, one period like this period on Saturday or Wednesday, we'll do some fun thing in the class. So if you note down this sentence, how I wish I could calculate pi, then students will know up to 7 place of value of pi.
Hi, this is Prakash Talwalkar.
Now you see this video I'm going to show you number which contains 5 at the unit place. Number ending in 5.
Hi, this is Prashal Walker. I'm going to teach you a trick from Vedic mathematics so that you can quickly square a number that ends in the digit 5. You'll be able to square this number faster than you can do on a calculator, and you'll be able to do it in your head. Let's say you want to do 25 squared. The trick is that just take the digit that's not 5 and multiply it by 1 more than itself. So 2 times 1 more than itself is 3, and you get the number 6. Then put the number 25 at the end, and that'll be your answer. 25 squared is 625. We'll
Let
do
us
another
see
example.
55 square.
Let's say you want to do 55 squared. We take the digit that's not 5, and we multiply it by 1 more than itself. 5 times 6 is 30, and so we get, after adding the 25, that 55 squared is 3025. The general procedure is if you have a number that ends in the digit 5, you take 1 more than the number itself, you write that down, and you add the number 25 at the end. I like to end on this example to keep students interested. 205, we take 20 times 1 more than itself, and we get 420, 25. I hope you like this.
Okay, now same way, multiplying by 6. If you multiply by 6, if you multiply 6 to an even number, the answer will end with the same digit. This is very interesting. Let us see now. The number in the tens place will be half of the number in the ones place, like 6 into 4. So at unit place, same number we have to write 6 into 4, 4, and then half of 4, that is 2, 24. 6 into 8. Unit place 8, and the tens place half of 8, 48. 6 into 6. Unit place 6, half of 6 is 36. So multiplying by 6, number ending with 5, we have seen the square of in the previous slide. So these are the things which through which we can create interest among the students towards mathematics. 20 important strategies in primary maths. I have already told you I am not going to teach anything in maths. We are all here to we all are here to discuss how can we make maths interesting among the primary section children. So 20 important strategies in primary maths. Number 1, build interest and rapport. Nothing captures a people's imagination more than their own interest. While learning your people's hobbies and favorite pastimes can be time consuming, it should happen naturally over the course of the year. You can then use the knowledge to personalize classroom explanation. Create interest among students before teaching any particular topic. Know your students and your resources. This is very important. This should be the bread and butter of teaching for interventions and in general. If you are not sure if a math resource is pitched at the right level for your people, then you need to find it. Without appropriate differentiation in the classroom, time spent on a resource could well be time wasted. With a class of 30, it can be more tricky to ensure you are aware of every misconception. We recommend using diagnostic assessments wherever possible at the start and end of every topic. Recap prior learning, particularly in maths, where learnings need to build upon previous learning and foundation concepts. Recapping prior knowledge through retrieval, practice, or other methods is essential. When teaching pupils through the specialist maths intervention, our tutors always create a linking question from the past lesson to a kickstart learning in a new one. This can save precious time and assure you never try to teach a new concept to a class that they are simply not ready for. So, recap prior learning means what we are going to teach, what we taught earlier, just interlinked concepts we have to review or we have to revise in few minutes. Quick revision is important. Whenever we enter the class, okay, today I'm doing Pythagoras theorem. So before that, we'll discuss here what are the squares, how can we make the squares, how can we do the proving of the Pythagoras, what we taught earlier, previous class. So both the things should be linked. Share lesson objectives to improve maths progress. Don't assume that just showing your class the learning objectives make them understand them. Our teacher do this by asking students to identify keywords they don't understand and asking open ended questions such as what is the difference and what do you think of, and discussing how the lesson objectives link to prior learning. Discussing lesson objective is much better for long term memory retention than just stating them. So, share lesson objectives to improve maths progress. Teach key maths vocabulary. This is also very important. If a student does not understand key maths vocabulary, what is the greater sign, what is the smaller sign, what is the union sign, what is the intersection sign, what is the universal sign, if a student does not understand key maths vocabulary, it is important to get them up to speed before undertaking new learning. To address any misunderstanding, our teachers will often get students to describe mathematical terms in their own words before they start a topic. Plus, if students are struggling, they will simplify keywords and, for example, discuss sharing instead of division. Use AFL to adjust pitch and pace. What is this? Let us understand. Where possible, learning should be paced to the needs of the student. The last thing any teacher wants is to find that they have moved too quickly through a topic and cause cognitive overload in their subjects. This is why our teachers use assessments for learning. AFL, I said, assessments for learning. This is why our teachers use assessment for learning and formative assessment strategies to adjust the pitch and pace of their lesson. This is as simple as moving quickly through content that the people understands and showing down to expand, or explain a concept that they are not getting. The key element is not to move on from content that a student yet to secure, regardless of how much time you spend on it. It means if we are teaching any topic and we are feeling that the students are not understanding in one period, then we can give 2 period, 3 period until all children are not understanding that particular learning what we are teaching in the class. The key element is not to move on from content that the student yet to secure, regardless of how much time you spend on it. Personalized learning and link questions to student interest. Personally, relevant problems are way more fun to solve. Posing a question in the context of the people's name or their favorite animal is likely to increase their engagement. To this, to this end, our teachers often use the student's name, favorite animal, or interest to create personally relevant math problem for them to solve. As familiarity and rapport with your class builds throughout the year, this should become easier and easier to do. We have got plenty of math activities you can use to personalize learnings to people interests such as football, math lesson, and some more extra we can do something. That plenty of math activities. If you go on the Google, you will get a lot of math activities are available. Create more opportunities for a student talk. Finding time for high quality math talk, math talk in KS2 class is hard. But wherever possible, you should encourage active learning and promote discussion rather than lecturing. Short attention spans are an ever present hurdle, and classroom discussion keeps students from tuning out. Plus, it enhances metacognition development. A third space, people discussing a math problem with their tutor. Remember, however, that direct instruction is still often your most valuable teaching method. People talk should come after you have covered the fundamentals of a topic, not before. See, we are teaching any particular topic in the class. First 10 minutes is our own time when we are teaching something, And the next 10 minutes is a discussion that what we are teaching in the class, questions related to with that topic. We are discussing with the children what is coming in students' mind. We are listening those questions also and trying to give answers. So create more opportunities for student talk. We have to see what is in their mind. If we are teaching any particular topic, then we have to see what is in a student mind regarding that with that particular topic what we are teaching in the class. Use concrete pictorial abstract method. Concrete pictorial abstract method is a staple of many math teachers' toolkit. Use real objects to build the pupil's foundation for conceptual understanding and follow up with the pictorial representation that help them freely conceptualize a problem. This technique is tried and tested and not just for a low ability student. Using it enables all pupils to grasp more challenging content quickly and effectively. So use concrete pictorial abstract. This is very beneficial, and if you use, you also will feel very happy. I've done something extra, some other than what we are doing in the daily routine. Use variation to improve math progress. There are two stages of this. One is conceptual variation, which shows people different ideas that underpin a mathematical concept can be framed using questions such as what is the same and what's the difference between different representations. It helps people distinguish the essential and obscure characteristics of a math concept. Second is procedural variation, which is more useful for multi-step operation. One step, the second step, the third step. So which is more useful for multi-step operations and comparing successive procedure. Example, calculating two different set of numbers can be framed as questions such as what do you notice and is there a relationship between these two numbers? What is the relationship or any sequence are we going to form or not? So use variation to improve math progress. Frame questions in a real world context. Connecting topics to math in the real world makes them more memorable and engaging. This should be done as often as possible, and our teacher is expected to connect all math learning to real life, even in more abstract topics also. For example, if a teacher is teaching rounding up to 1 million, they may look at different populations in towns or cities or ask people to round up the total people in their hometown. Someone is saying Prayagraj, someone is saying Banarasi, someone is saying Sultanpur. So, what is the population here? Just count, just do the Google and do some work on that, do some research on that. For example, if teacher is teaching rounding up to 1 million, they may look at different populations in towns or cities or ask people to round up the total of people in their hometown. If you're looking for a quick and easy topical maths investigation to use in the classroom, take a look at these resources for Year 5 and Year 6 students. Vary approaches, two questions. There's a big difference between learning a method and gaining real understanding. Our teachers always teach multiple ways to approach the same problem. For example, when teaching rounding, teachers can use a number line or ask people to simply use the relevant columns to inform their rounding. We have two methods with the number line, or we can say using simply use the relevant columns to inform their rounding. They also make frequent use of a goal-free problems and open-ended questions to ensure students learn the underlying concept rather than simply performing back what they have seen. This is especially crucial for 6-year students who need the tools to answer SAT questions independently. Move from scaffolding to independent practice. Let's see what is in this. Learning should be structured with gradually decreasing support from scaffolding to independent learning and finally to stretching. In our intervention, teachers always model answers and show students the steps to success before asking them to answer a question. Moreover, when moving towards the plenary of lesson, our teachers provide multiple opportunities for students to work independently and extend their own learning. Use deeper question strategies to help pupils progress in math. We all know verbal reasoning plays a large part in improving metacognition. But it is the quality of discussion is what counts, not the quantity. That's very important. What we are discussing in the class, it is the quality of discussion which counts. Like our teachers, you can encourage quality students talk by questioning in the classroom. In maths, like, how did you get this answer, bete? What steps you have done? These type of questions we can ask, and how would I extend this question? This also address the three main aims of the national curriculum: fluency, reasoning, and problem solving. These are the three main things. Use bar models technique. We will see this. Bar modeling is a taking the primary maths world by storm for a reason, from routine calculations such as 4 plus 3 to more complex multi-step stats problem. Bar models are a fantastic learning aid as they show the inner workings of math problem. Let us see what is this bar modeling example I am showing. See, this was a bar divided into four parts. We have to find 3 by 4 of 36. Earlier we have seen addition, subtraction, simple, but when we have to find 3 by 4 of 36, then how can we do this? This whole bar represents 36. This whole bar represents 36. It has been split into four equal parts. We can say four quarters. Why? Because 3 by 4 of 36. So four quarters are required. What number should go in each part in this to fill this whole bar 36? There are four bar, we can say. Out of 36 in each bar, what number should be there? Each part is a quarter of 36, but you want to know that how much is 3 quarter of 36? We have to see each bar of 36, what number we should write. So total is 36. Each bar will contain 9, and we have to find 3 by 4 of 36. So 3 bar answer we have to calculate. So each part is a quarter of 36, and then 3 bar will be how much? 3 into 9, 27. So each part is a quarter of 36, but you want to be know how much is a 3 quarter of 36. This relate the student divide by the denominator 4. So this way we'll tell the children, oh, 3 by 4 of 36. 36 का 4 part we have to find first, and then we'll multiply these 3 bar by 3. 999 will add 9 in the first bar, 9 in the second bar, 9 in the second bar, and 3 by 4 means 3 bar we have to calculate, and this will come 27. So sometimes what we are doing in the class, sometimes we have to follow some other method. This is known as bar model example. 3 by 4 of 36, 3 by 4 of 40, then 4 bar of 10, 10 each, and we take 3 bar, that is 30. Nurture a growth mindset to nurture math growth. This is very important. Why? If you ask from the children, do you like math? No, sir, I don't like math because if I solve any question, I'm not getting the answer. Some children say, I hate math. Some children say, my teacher is not teaching very well, so that's why I don't like math. Neither I like math, nor I like my math teacher. So this mindset we have to remove. What students have made their mindset. Research clearly demonstrates that compared to other subjects, students are most likely to believe they won't be succeed at math. To build that crucial confidence, our teachers always praise the effort of a student's put in rather than the student. We find places like you found a really good way to do that, or I can tell you I've been practicing really improve motivation and attitude towards math. So this children mindset we have to remove as a teacher, and then we have to tell the children, "Beta, you can solve this question. Okay, today one step, tomorrow two step, day after tomorrow three step." And when students are doing, we have to appreciate in the class, provide a range of strategies and next step. Just as linking from previous concept gives students a sense of familiarity, linking to future concepts ensure that students don't get lost in learning. This is why our teachers always signpost the learning in any given lesson. Signposting can be as simple as telling students that we are going to move on to a rounding numbers to a million. It will use the same strategies as rounding to 10,000, but it's more of challenge. This keeps students engaged on track. Encourage metacognition to encourage mass progress. Metacognition should be an integral part of lessons, and students should frequently be assessing their own learning using metacognitive strategies and other thinking skills. One way to do this is to focus the plenary on what was learned that day and, more importantly, how it was learned. When a student can reflect on their own understanding, what they found more challenging or easier, then you will be starting to achieve metacognition in the classroom. So we have to tell the children, but you can, what we taught earlier, this is related with that only. Metacognition should be an integral part of lesson, and students should frequently be assessing their own learning using metacognition strategies and other thinking skills. यानी ये ऐसे होगा, ये ऐसे हो, ये सर ने तब पढ़ाया था उसको, इसका लिंक यहाँ पे होगा. Correlation is very important between one chapter to other chapter. One way to do this to focus the plenary of what was learned that day, and more importantly, how it was learned. That is very important. Reward, praise, and encourage the student. Praise is a great confidence builder, and corrections can be incorporated constructively within praise. For example, it's okay that you have made a mistake, but it's important that you learn from it. This is especially crucial with students who may have less math confidence, or we can say below average, than their peers, and those struggling with math and anxiety. It improves their motivation math. So sometimes we should reward, sometimes we should praise, sometimes we should encourage the student to average student day or below average students. If they are solving any questions, we can ask the whole class, please make a clap for this boy because he has tried and he got a first step. Though it's not getting whole solution, no issue. If he's correcting first step, if doing first step correctly, that whole class should clap. So this appreciation create the motivation of the student. Teach the teacher. To be effective, student talk requires proper structure and expectations. One technique we use is to ask a student to teach back to the teacher towards the end of the lesson. It is the ultimate test of understanding. It is particularly effective in one-to-one settings where the student is under less pressure than in a group. However, when used as a group activity with more confident students doing the teaching, it can be effective in a classroom setting. If you are new to this one, why not start by trying it as a primary math strategy to help your pupils memorize their number facts? Few puzzles are there. Solve this puzzle. Let me see how many teachers can solve this puzzle. You may note down this. First two ball, some come tens, then one ball into one this rectangle plus rectangle 12, then ball into rectangle minus triangle into this circle ball is equal to ball answer. Then what is the value of triangle? What is the value of triangle? I'm giving 2 3 minute times. You can solve. I can write in the chat box. Let me see how many teachers are getting this. We are testing the students every time. Let me see. Let me test my teachers also. That how many teachers can solve this? I have to see that how many teachers are able to solve this. You can write answer in this chat box. Okay, Aditi Sharma wrote answer 2. Let me see some more answer. Some has written 1. I'm getting the answer. I'll give 2 minutes time more. Then we'll discuss the answer. Okay, correct answer is 1. Now this puzzle, I'm giving now second puzzle. That correct answer, that puzzle answer is 1. Now let me see who can give me this answer. Puzzle 2 answer, let me see who can give this answer. Puzzle 2. Okay, that the triangle is answer 1. Now you can see the second puzzle. First bracket plus second bracket 14. Third bracket minus fourth bracket is 10. What should be the values of these 4 brackets? We can say A plus B, C plus D. Any guess now? Our triangle answer is 1. I can see number of candidates have written 1. That's good. Now let us see this second puzzle. Who can solve this? How many candidates can solve this second puzzle? I'm giving you a few minutes time again. You can write answer in the chat box for the second puzzle. Mrs. Sharma wrote 7 plus 7, but it is not. We have to see the below also. Mrs. Sharma, you see 7 plus, and what should be the below this? Because that comes 15, then minus, it should be 10. I'm giving you few minutes time. I can let you know the how can we solve. We make 4 equations here. A plus B is equal to 14. C minus D is equal to 10. Then A plus C is equal to 15. Vertically, A plus C is equal to 15. And then B plus D is equal to 16. 4 equations will be there. Until unless you're not making 4 equations, you will not be able to solve this. Guessing work will not work here. First equation, there is a plus sign. Second equation, there is a minus sign. So this type of puzzles we can discuss in the class to create interest among the student and sharp their brain level. अच्छा ये ऐसे होगा सर, नहीं ये ऐसे होगा, नहीं ऐसे. Because sometimes students learn by hit and trial method. Mrs. Jyoti Tirki wrote 7 plus 7, 14. Okay, then what should be the second? A 12, B 2. 12 plus 2, 14. But what should be then C? I said first column A, second column B, third column C, fourth column D. Equation will be A plus B is equal to 14. And then C minus D is equal to 10. A plus C 15 vertically and B plus D is equal to 16. You note down this equation, solve at home. Think it is because guessing work will not work here. If you guess, then you have to guess in all the ways. What horizontal also, vertical also. Horizontal it should be 14, 10, and vertical should be 15 and 16. Okay, next slide now. It is finger multiplication tables. You see how interesting is it? Everyone knows you can count on your finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everyone knows you can count on your fingers. Did you realize you can use them for multiplication? A simple way to do the 9 multiplication table is to place both hands in front of you with fingers and thumbs extended. To multiply by this 10 fingers, we are going to see 9 table. To multiply 9 by a number, fold down that number of fingers counting from the left. What does it mean? 9 threes are 1, 2, 3. Fold this number. Now, what should be the answer here? Before holding this number, 2 number. After that, we have 7, right? So 9 threes are 27. 9 fives are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold this. Now check it. Before this finger, we have 4, and after this finger, 5. So 9 fives are 45. So to multiply 9 by a number, fold down that number like this. We are multiplying by 5. Hold down the fifth finger from the left, like from this side. Count fingers on either side of the fold to get the answer. In this case, the answer is 45. Before this finger, which we have fold, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. After this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what answer should be 45? 9, 7. Now, um, left from left, count 7 number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold like this. 9, 7. Before this 6 number we have, after this we have 3. So what answer should be? 63. So to multiply 9 times 6, hold down the sixth finger like this, giving an answer 54. This will create good interest, tremendous interest among the students, and they will learn this a whole lifetime. Because when I was in class 7 and 19, we can say 1974, my teacher is taught like this, and still I learned that. That's why I made a slide for this. My teacher is taught in 1974 how to multiply any number by 9, and still I memorize this. If that teacher is taught like this, multiply by 5, multiply by 7, multiply by 8. Before 8 we have 7 number, after 8 we have 2 number, 72. So this way it will help whole life. They will learn this. So finger multiplication table, I will read this again. Everyone knows you can count on your finger. Did you realize you can use them for multiplication? A simple way to do the 9 multiplication table is to place both hands in front of you with fingers and thumbs extended. To multiply 9 by a number, fold down the number, fingers counting from the left, from this side. To multiply 9 by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fold down this number, fifth finger from the left, count fingers on either side of the fold, this side and this side. Left side, we have 4 numbers, that is 4. After this, right 5, answer should be 45. To multiply 9 times 6, fold down the sixth number, give an example of 54. This way, we have to create interest among the students by bringing new things. Some interesting information. Mathematics is full of joys for those who adore the subject, those who like the subject, those who love the subject. But for most people, I would say mathematics is a nightmare because of its complexities. So it's our duty to provide people something enticing about the subject. So here I begin. We can make mathematics interesting and engaging by implementing some real life example that connects people with the logic of maths. There are many things around us that show the beauty of mathematics. For example, if someone would like to teach the concept of hexagon, they could use the real life example of honey comb, how it forms, how the pattern connects with the concepts of hexagon. Let us see the next picture. There are two pictures. First figure, if only we make like this, there is in the shape of circle, there will be the space between two circle which is wasted. So circles create wasted space. They thought like this, then they made hexagon. There is no space wasted between two figure, we can say. So second figure is perfect. These bees are, I can say, mathematician. First figure if they make, then between two circles space we can see are wasting. But the second figure, no space is wasted. See the next example. Let's look at another example. Have you ever looked at the sunflower spiral and thought how the seeds are arranged? They follow a specific mathematical sequence, the Fibonacci sequence. Look at this picture. We can see two pictures. First, sunflower in the nature. First is the sunflower. And second, let us see sunflower generated with the model cross section we have seen. And then how they are making this. What is the sequence name? We said Fibonacci. What is the Fibonacci sequence? We mathematicians should know that. The Fibonacci sequence is a set of number that starts with 1 or 0, followed by a 1, and proceeds based on the rule that each number is equal to the sum of the preceding two numbers. In the Fibonacci sequence denoted by Fn, where n is the first term in the sequence, the following equation obtains for n is equal to 0, where the first two terms are defined 0 and 1. What is the meaning of that? Now see the series F0, 0, 1, 1, 2. 0 plus 1, first two digits sum, 1, third number. 1 plus 2, second and third digit sum, coming on the fourth place. Then third and fourth, 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 8, 13. 8 plus 13, 21. 13 plus 21, 34. So this is the Fibonacci sequence named for Leonardo Pisano, an Italian mathematician who lived from 1170 to 1250. Now, so you can see again, a second figure is a good example of Fibonacci sequence. Now, this is also very important. Use pool noodles to make fractions. Generally, children don't understand which fraction is greater. 1 by 3 is greater or 1 by 2 is greater. 1 by 8 is greater or 1 by 2 is greater. A lot of confusion is there. So, this we have to explain by this example. Use pool noodles to make fractions. First pool, only 1. Second, we divided by center, writing above 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Third, divided by 3 parts, writing 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. Fourth, divided by 4 parts, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. Fifth, divided by 6 parts, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, like this. And then last figure divided by 8 parts. Now children understand. Sure, sir, 1 by 3 will be smaller than 1 by 2. Oh my goodness. 1 by 4 will be smaller than 1 by 2, and 1 by 8 will be very smaller than 1 by 8 too. If you make example like this in the class, children will understand, visualize, 1 by 8 will be very smaller than 1 by 6. 1 by 6 will be very smaller than 1 by 4. 1 by 4 will be very smaller than 1 by 3, and 1 by 3 will be very smaller than 1 by 2, and 1 by 2 will be very smaller than. So use pool noodles to make fractions. Get our tips. Okay, next. Now I have tried one experiment in my school in the annual day. This is a mathematical dance. My students are doing this dance on the stage, which I want to show everyone. Different shapes students are making. Different shapes students are making. Yeah. I. Thank you, teachers. I have tried to be best to explain how can you make math interesting for class students of classes 1 to 5 by different ways. Because I'm not supposed to teach anything to you. We are here to discuss how can we make math interesting among
Sir,
the
you're not audible.
hello.
Put your mic. Yes,
Uh,
better.
we are here to explain how can we make math interesting to the students of primary section by different ways. Thank you to Farjana ma'am. Thank you to Kiti Prabhakashan who gave me this opportunity to express my views with you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Avni Kamal, for conducting such a valuable session. I hope all teachers will benefit from it. So, thank you once again. And let's continue our learning journey with Urja.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.